Hello, today we will learn how to use Spring JPA to interact with PostgreSQL with traditional approach. Implementing data access layer makes a lot of boilerplate code. Spring JPA is a part of Spring Data, help improve our costs and reduce effort for development and maintenance. Spring JPA supports the way to write interface for repositories and custom parameters. The implementation will be done automatically by Spring Framework. The technology we use are Java 1.8, Maven in development environment Spring Boot with Spring Boot 1.4.0. Our goal is to build a service that can receive customer data, request and response data from PostgreSQL database, namely TCP and customer table using JPA with Java class customers. To do those things, our project structure includes customer class corresponds to entity and table customers and should be implemented serializable. Customer repositories is an interface extends groups repositories and it will be otherwise in web controller and will be used to implement repositories methods or custom file methods. Web controller is a REST controller which has request mapping, some RESTful requests such as self, file file by ID, file by last name. We configure Spring data source and JPA properties in application properties and dependencies for Spring Boot and PostgreSQL in POM. This is step by step to build our application. Firstly, we create Spring Boot project. Click File, New, Spring Starter project. Fill on fields, name, group, artifact, version, description, package. And remember that we use Java version 1.8. Click Next. We have to make some choices for our easy work later. Click SQL, choose JPA and PostgreSQL. Click Web, choose Web. Click Finish. Now Spring Boot project with JPA and PostgreSQL is ready. We can see our project, and the first step is done. Secondly, we have to configure Spring JPAs and other dependencies. Here we go. Now you can see that these dependencies with Spring Boot JPA, Spring Starter Web, PostgreSQL were auto-generated here because we have configured before as the first step. Then we configure Spring JPA is application properties. For Spring data source, we have URL, username and password for authentication. And we should enable generate DDL for Spring JPA. Next, we will create a simple data model class. In this case, this customer class. We create new package for data model class. New package. Spring JPA data model. New class. We will name it customer. Click finish. Now you can see this is our customer class. The class customers implements serializable and has trace members, ID with long data types, first name and last name with string data types, and we have two constructor methods. One is used by string JPA, we make it protected, and the other is for creating customer instance. We have some annotation here. Entities specifies that the class is an entity. Table specifies the primary table for the annotated entity. In this case, the table names customer. The annotation ID specifies the primary key of an entity. And you see, generated value indicates generation strategies for the values of primary keys. For this case, we set generation type auto, and the annotation column is used to specify the map column for a persistence property of field. And the field first name and last name correspond to the column first name and last name of the table customer. Next, we create JPA repositories, which has the various methods to interact with entity class. This interface helps us to run through functions for class customers that we have read before. We will create new package. Name current string JPA report. New interface. We will name it customer repository. Finish. And this is our interface customer repository. Will extend a generous interface through repositories. The group repositories extends the central repository marker interface repository. And you can see that we have some methods. Self entity, file one, is it? File on, count, delete by ID, delete by entity, delete on. Now go back to our interface. We have methods find by last name. This method receives string last name and return a list of customers that contains all customers entities which have the same string last name as the input string. Next, we create a web controller that receives requests from client and get data from repositories and return the result. New package string JPA controller. New class web controller. And this is our class web controllers. Web controllers is a REST controller. We choose authorized repository for customer repository that we created as previous step. And we have some methods that have request mapping here. For mapping self, we use methods self of group repositories to save customer data to the table. For mapping file-on, we use methods file-on. For mapping file by ID, we use file1 with IDs as input parameter. And for mapping file by last name, we use methods file by last name that we created in interface customer repository before. Next, we create PostgreSQL table names customers using pgadmin 3. As we configured before, database name testdb username is Postgre, and we should create a table customer to store data. Click SQL icon to write and execute a SQL query. Our customers table has three fields. ID is primary key not known with data type big integer for mapping with data type long in Java. First name and last name are varchar corresponding to data type Java string. Click execute query. Now you can see that our table is created in our database testdb. The last step is just running Spring Boot application with Maven and enjoy the result. The first thing we should prepare before installing the project is to make sure that we responds to the right JDK. So we should choose the right folder, the right JDK folder. Click finish. OK. Right click. Run as Maven build. Clean. Install. And make sure that you delete spawn XML. Apply. Run. Once you see the message build success, our project is ready to run. Now go back to our project. Run as Spring Boot application. Now look our table customer. We will view top 100 rows. No data. Save. Now we have some raw data. And save again. We have more rows in our table. Look at it. We check file-on. This is the on data in our table. You can check it. Now file by ID. 35. Half thus we will have Davis. Yes, it's Davis. Now file by last name. Half is the size on row of Davis. Bravo! We will check it in our table. We have two rows with last names is Davis. It's the end of our video. Thank you and hope to see you again.